might not be the hugest fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene, but in this case, she is right. What the F is going on? We're going to go ahead and break down this video between Megyn Kelly and Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're talking about the war over in Iran. Yes, it's a war. Do not gaslight me and say, oh, we're just over there helping, assisting. No, we're in a full-on war. And it's about time somebody gets real. And I have to give Marjorie Taylor Greene her credit. She's getting real about this. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And let's get into this video, you guys. Here we go. Megyn Kelly had Marjorie Taylor Greene on her show because Megyn Kelly has been critical of this war with Iran as well, too. And so has Marjorie Taylor Greene. But I'm going to call out the both of them at the end of the video, but let's go ahead and get into what they had to say.
I mean, X is completely saturated in neocons, the pro-Israel crowd, and people who would love to cheerlead us right into another Middle East ground war that's endless. I was grateful for your contrary perspective, Marjorie. Thank you for being here today and give us your overall view on why you're against this.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Megyn. And I completely agree with everything you said in your intro. I'd also like to point out that X is saturated in bots as well and paid social media influencers who just echo whatever their money tells them to say, the money that they're getting paid for. And so I think that just like our media has been nothing but propaganda for as long as you and I can remember, I think social media has turned into the same thing. What I do know is most Americans, and it's being proved in polling that's coming out, most Americans are completely against this war because, like you said, the president has made no case for it. We live our ordinary lives and we don't feel threatened by Iran. We don't walk around thinking that in any moment an Iranian ballistic missile is going to land on our head. We don't. Here's what Americans, and I want to read off this list. This is what Americans are focused on. 72% of Americans can't afford health insurance. 58% of Americans can't afford car insurance. 67% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 31% of Americans can't afford their back taxes. 50% of Americans are in credit card debt, massive credit card debt. That's where we are in America. And I campaigned with the president.
Ooh, I fit into all them statistics. Damn. When she was reading it, I was like, oh, yeah, I can't afford a home. Yeah, Texas, this, that. Yep, she's right about that.
As a matter of fact, I was one of the only Republicans that was out there for Donald Trump when the rest of the neocons, by the way, that are just cheering him on now, had abandoned him and were trying to beat him in a primary and stop him from being president again. I was out there on the front lines for Make America Great Again. And Make America Great Again was supposed to be America first, not Israel first, not any foreign country first, not any foreign people first, but the American people first and our problems. And God bless the Iranian people. I hope to God that they can have a government that is for them and that treats women fairly. But what we have seen happen right now is we have seen over 100 little girls killed at a school from a bomb. And I don't know whose bomb it was, but they're dead today because America and Israel attacked Iran. So that's not really good for Iranian women.
Well, a few things. The whole fantasy about, oh, yeah, they're going to have a regime change and all that stuff. No, this is baked into the system. A regime change, highly unlikely. We've seen what happened in Afghanistan. We've seen what happened in Iraq. Nothing has changed. Well, minor changes, but nothing drastic. I mean, the Taliban is back in power in Afghanistan. So, yeah, nothing happened with that. In Iraq, that Saddam Hussein was murked. I can't say the real word, but murked. And then also with the bomb that hit that school, America is saying that Iran did that to their own people. That makes no sense that they would do that to their own people. So you're attacking them, but they decide to bomb their own people. Make it make sense.
And our president is saying that the Iranian people are all of a sudden going to topple their regime. Well, I don't think the Iranian people are going to be toppling their regime when they're getting blown apart by the United States and Israel in an unprovoked attack. And yes, it was unprovoked. And Pete Hegseth said this morning, Megyn, he said that we didn't start this war. But I hate to argue with the Secretary of the Department of War. America and Israel definitely started this war, and you can't lie that away to the American people. And so, you know how I feel right now? I am irate. I am furious about this. We are nearly $40 trillion in debt. How much is this war going to cost us? We have seen enough of our American troops dead and murdered for foreign countries. And now we've had 4 dead and murdered, just like you said, for Israel and for the Iranian people, not for the American people. And I don't want to see any more dead and murdered. Our military is filled with some of the greatest people from our country. And God bless their families who are probably losing their minds right now, terrified that their son or daughter or their husband or wife or brother or sister may come home in a flag-draped coffin. And then we have the president who, by the way, Megyn, this really needs to be said. Donald Trump has said repeatedly on camera and in interviews, he doesn't think he's going to heaven. Well, I want to ask a question, a serious question. What is in his mind? What is his mental state? If he doesn't think he's going to heaven and he is a man towards the end, he's in the 4th quarter, he's towards the end of his life. How does that pan out for the rest of us when we have a president of the United States who doesn't think and is convinced he's not going to heaven? What does that mean his decision making is? He already said to the New York Post today that he doesn't care about the polling.
Well, let me stop her there, because this is where I have to call them out, because they talk about, oh, America is a Christian nation and we need Christians and Trump is of God. He always talks about Christians like they're the others. Like, oh, I love Christians. You know, I love the evangelicals. Like, he doesn't consider himself a Christian. He never mentioned that he loved God. Yeah, he has a Trump Bible, but this man knows that you guys love shit like that. He knows that, oh, if I just say, you know, here's a Bible with my signature on it, they'll eat it up because you guys are dummies. This man is not a Christian at all, but you voted for him. This is the same man with multiple baby mamas, multiple wives, sexual harassment claims. He was found liable for sexual assault. Like, come on now. Where was the Christian in him?
Doesn't care about what the American people think, and he may put troops on the ground. He took this is going to be a few-day war, to now it's going to be maybe 4 weeks or more. I want to say, what is happening to the man that I supported, you supported, the man that denounced what happened in Iraq, the man that said no more foreign wars, no more regime change, promised it on the campaign. JD Vance promised it. Tulsi Gabbard promised it. All of them promised it. And we're a year in, and we're in another fucking war, and we've got American troops being killed. I think it's time for America to rip the Band-Aid off, and we need to have a serious conversation about what the fuck is happening to this country and who in the hell are these decisions being made for, and who is making these decisions.
Mm-hmm. The president on the heaven thing has said he was being cheeky about that he actually doesn't have worries, but I understand your greater point. Who is making the decisions?
Of course, Megyn Kelly's going to try to defend Trump. This is the same man that said she was bleeding out of her whatever. Listen, I understand that at the end of the day, people might not like you. You don't have to like a person. But this man has disrespected Megyn Kelly so many times, and she still decides to kiss his ass. This is how if you don't trust somebody who won't fight for themselves, this means you can't trust any shit that they say.
Because the President Trump that was talking to us about going in and, you know, we're going to, the Iranian people, they're going to thank me, you know, like I did you a favor. I made you a promise and I lived up to it. He was talking to the Iranian people, not the American people.
Yeah.
I made you a promise and I lived up. What do you mean? They didn't vote for you.
That's right.
They weren't on the campaign trail for you.
Nope.
We're the ones who are putting our best and bravest at risk right now. And he says the Iranian people it's up to them to now sort of take the baton and like install new leadership. They have no guns. They're sheltering in place because we're bombing their country right now. How are they like? What is the plan for them to like then take the baton and install a new leader? Like,
and I noticed that the media on both sides have been showing propaganda. Like, they're showing a whole bunch of American Iranian people celebrating. Yeah, they're celebrating because at the end of the day, they're not in Iran. They're over here in America. Just like with Venezuela, when they captured Maduro, you see the Venezuelans here in America celebrating. But yet that country is still left in chaos. And basically, the vice president took over, the vice president under Maduro. So again, what really happened? What changed? And then with this situation, like Megyn said, the people are sheltering in place. Like, they can't fight. They don't have the weaponry to fight back or anything like that. Like, they have to worry about like ducking and covering. And the videos over there in Iran, seeing the people, the devastation and seeing them cry and just, it's ugly. They're not out there, quote unquote, celebrating. They don't have an opportunity to celebrate because they got to duck for cover. It's sad.
How are they going to do that with the IRGC still intact and they're still being Iranian leaders? Not everybody was wiped out. And his comments to the press today seem to be, they're going to lay down their arms and join with the Iranian patriots.
No, they're not.
Based on what?
Yeah.
Based on what? So if that doesn't happen willingly, just by like the grace of God, okay, we're going to do it, then we are going to have to do it, or Israel's going to have to do it. And the more Israel fights, the more we have to fight MTG, because that's what got us into this mess to begin with. We saw they were going to head and do it, and we felt like we had no choice because they were going to attack our bases first thing as soon as Israel did it.
That's right. No, you're absolutely right. And I heard an analyst say today that okay, we've killed approximately maybe 40 or more of their top leadership and the Ayatollah. Well, guess what? The cleric ruling class is about 50,000 deep in their government. I mean, are we going to kill all 50,000 of them before they can bring a new government in? And while this is happening, Megyn, we're bombing them. We are bombing them and killing their people and destroying their buildings and wreaking havoc on their entire ability to function in daily life. Do we really think these people are going to be saying, oh, thank you, America. Thank you. God bless you. We're killing them and killing their children. So I think we're radicalizing a whole new generation of Iranians.
That's what I worry about too.
That don't remember, like me and you, we don't remember. We were kids when the last regime was taken out and this new regime was put in. And I think this whole thing is not what we voted for, Megyn. It is absolutely America last.
And that was a war. Doing my research, that was a war that we were a part of too as well. That brought in I can't even say that word. The Ayatollah. I think I said it right. Did I? Let me know in the comment section. But again, with the Iranian people, like, there was a whole bunch of protesters. Like, we know there was chaos going in Iran, right? And it was said that they had allegedly killed 30,000 people. However, only 7,000 were actually confirmed. Now, let me say this. Does that make either number right? No, obviously not. But again, this is the number that the Iranians are giving is 7,000 compared to the 30,000 that have been reported. But even with that being said, with us dropping bombs on them, because and let's not forget Israel. Like, I want to be clear, I'm not forgetting about Israel, but the fact that we're playing into Israel's hands is the problem. We literally let them get us into this mess, and it's going to have to be us to fix it. At the end of the day, Israel can wash their hands and be like, hey, that ain't got nothing to do with us. You know, it's going to fall into our lap, obviously. And then, like, again, so are we going to then take over Iran and then try to run it? Or Israel, are they going to try to, like, what's the plan? There is no plan, because originally this was only supposed to last a couple of days and then Iran was going to cave in. But Trump just announced, like, this might be another 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks is going to turn into years. I promise you that.
It's the same bullshit we've seen for decades now. And I don't think the president is being tongue in cheek. I know that man very well. And he repeatedly says he's not going to heaven, the same way he repeatedly says that he's going, that, what do you think? Should I run for president again? You know, I think that started out as we could take it as a joke, but I don't think he's joking. And I know you're not willing to go there, but I am. I really want to know, what is his mental state and who is he doing this for? Because it's not for the American people. He's lying. He's gone back on what he promised. No more foreign wars, no more regime change. And I want to know, where the hell is JD Vance? Where is he? Where is Tulsi Gabbard? Because if they stand by and are silent, and they're turning back on the same words they said, it's all on video. All of them are on video saying it, just like I'm on video saying no more foreign wars, no more regime change. I'm on video on campaign stages and at Trump rallies saying the exact same thing. But where's JD and where's Tulsi?
I like how she called on Megyn. She was like, I know you're not willing to go there because, again, Megyn likes that whole pool of like, oh, yeah, I'm anti-establishment, but yet I still want to fit in with the popular crowd. I want to fit in with the establishment, right? And Marjorie Taylor Greene is like, F it. Like, he has said multiple times that he's running for a third term. He said that he's running, I mean, he's not going to go to heaven multiple different times. Like, she called it plainly. And again, just like I said earlier, he talks about Christians like they're the other. Like, oh, I love Christians. I love evangelicals. He doesn't consider himself a Christian at all. He doesn't care. He cares about himself and his wallet. But also, I like that she called out Tulsi Gabbard because she's a total failure. And then JD Vance, who thinks he's going to become president. He has no chance in hell. But again, I'm going to call out Marjorie Taylor Greene because let's not forget that she helped fund Israel. Remember, before she left office, she wanted, this was back in December, she wanted to put this, I think, Protect Children's Act or something like that. It was an anti-trans bill. But in agreement, she would vote for this other bill that gave funding to Israel. Remember, she's been anti-Israel. We keep supplying them with funds for this and that. And, you know, she was very anti-Israel, which, I mean, is the right position, right? However, you then vote for the bill to give them funding so that you can push this propaganda with the anti-trans bill that still hasn't went anywhere, but they promised that they would put it on the floor for you. You played into this as well, too. And let's just talk about Trump for a minute. Mind you, Marjorie Taylor Greene got into office after Trump got kicked out of office. So she wasn't in there serving during the time, you know, of really when MAGA first started. She came afterwards. So this was like her first time, like Trump's first year in Trump 2.0. That's when Marjorie Taylor Greene was in office with Trump. So it was a lot different. And she realized, oh, wait, hold on. Like, this is really crazy. Like, this isn't normal. But again, her not sticking in the fight and actually continuing on, I don't give her any props for that. Because all this stuff she's saying, it sounds great. Don't get me wrong. But where were you when this shit first started? This isn't a new Trump. This isn't something like, oh, I didn't know what I was voting for. This has always been this man. He's always been about himself. He's always been working on deals with other countries to make sure that he can grow his wealth. You know, the Saudi Arabia deal last time when he was in office. Like, we ain't forgot about that. You chose to ignore that. The only reason why you're coming out strong against Trump now is because you're not his favorite. He doesn't prop you up like you thought. You didn't get a position in the administration. He didn't give you his nod to go ahead and run for governor or for Senate. So, you know, he didn't give you that endorsement. So now you're salty. I do believe that if Trump gave her the endorsement for Senate or for governor, she would still be down with MAGA. I don't think this is a new Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she is pissed off and she wants her revenge. And let's be honest, she retired at the right time because Now she gets all her benefits and stuff like that. And we know she was accused of some insider trading. Like, how you go from 700,000 to 25 million in the matter of like 4 years, I believe. Something don't add up, Marjorie, but hey, I'll let it go. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you guys think about this video, about, Megyn Kelly trying to, give and take with MAGA, and then also with Marjorie Taylor Greene, her coming out so strongly against Trump and this whole Iran war. I almost said Iraq. Iran war, and this whole mess that Israel got us in. I don't know what to say, because they're going to keep on doing it. But we got to push back. We have to push back, and we have to make sure that we get people in office that understand, like, hey, we don't like this. We don't want this. And we need people to put their foot down and be like, no, we're not getting into this. Because mind you, Benjamin Netanyahu has tried this with every president. Trump is the only one that said yes to going at Iran. I find that quite interesting. Don't you? Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all for watching, but we out of here. Deuces, everybody.